Hello, good morning class. I am Miss Anjaneta Luz and I will be your teacher for today. As you can see, there are three pictures appeared on my screen. So before we proceed with our discussion, I want you to think about these photos and how they were related with each other. So at my upper left side, there is an old woman, a fairy, and a mythical creature, Tikbalang. So from the pictures that I've shown to you, what do you think our topic is about? Any guess? So okay, our topic is all about the Philippine literature during pre-colonial times. So what is Philippine literature during pre-colonial times? Philippine literature evolved before colonial era. That means we already have our very own literature before the colonizer invaded our country. The variety and abundance of Philippine literature showcase among the traditional narratives, poems, speeches, folk tales, and mythical objects. So later on, we will talk about the pre-colonial literary pieces, various literary forms of pre-colonial literature, old system of writing, religion, and beliefs. So the first one that we will talk about is pre-colonial literary pieces. So I have here some examples of pre-colonial literary pieces, which is well known until today. Number one for my list is Biyag ni Lamang. So we are all very familiar with this story since we are on elementary grade. So Biyag ni Lamang narrates the adventures of an enormous hero who shows an extraordinary strength at his very young age. So number two, Agyu or Olahing, a three-part epic that starts with the Pamara, which means invocation, Kapunpun, a narration of the past, and the Sangiturog, an episode complete itself. Number three, from my list, Alikuyon of Hudhud tells about the adventure of Alikuyon as he battles his enemy Pambukayon among the rice fields and terraces. So Alikuyon is a literary piece or a short story from the ethnic group of Nifugaos. Number three, Labaw Dungon is about the passionate exploits of son of the goddess Alusina by a mortal Datu Paubari. So Labaw Dungon is the child of a deity Alusina and a mortal Datu Paubari. So that means Labaw Dungon is a demigod since he is half deity and half human. And last but not the least, si Malakas at si Maganda. So it is a short narrative of how man and a woman came out the bamboo tree. So it is about the creation of a mankind. So we are now moving on to forms of literature during pre-colonial period. Number one is myths. It is a narrative that describes and portrays in symbolic language the origin of the basic elements and assumptions of culture. Traditional stories occurring in a timeless past. That means myth is about the origin of objects, places, things that we can find in our surroundings. So here are the examples of a myth. The mythical creature of the mermaid, ang Tikbalang, at ang alamat ng pinya. Number two is legends. So legends are the story about real people who are famous for doing something brave or extraordinary. The example of legend is Bernardo Carpio and Biyag ni Lamang. Number three is Proverbs or Salawikain. It echoed the values of the Philippines, though they have been retold and passed down from the generation to another, and the values and lessons they impart to us still hold true to this day. So here are the example of Salawikain or Proverbs. Number one, matibay ang walis palibasay, magkabigkis. That means people gain strength by standing together. Another one is, Mahirap gisingin ang nagtutulog-tulugan. So that means, while it is easy to tell people something they do not know, it is much harder if they are willfully choosing not to see what is before them. Number 3 is sabi-kain or idioms. So sabi-kain or idiom is a phrase with a different meaning from the literal meaning of the phrase. The meaning of an idiom in the mother language and culture has completely different meaning than the literal definition of the phrase. And here are the examples of sabi-kain or idioms. Number 1 example is kabiyak ng dibdib. Kabiyak ng dibdib, which means asawa or spouse. Then, number 2 is bulaklak ng dila. It has a literal meaning of a flower of the tongue. It is used to denote exaggeration. So in our language, when you are using too much flowery words, that means you are bolero or bolera. So the next one is mabigat ang kamay. Describes someone who is lazy but is literally translated as heavy-handed. So mabigat ang kamay or heavy-handed, that means lazy or tamad. Number 5 is riddles. Showcase the Filipino wit, literary talent, and keen observation of the surroundings. Involves reference to one or two images that symbolize the characteristic of the unknown object is to be guessed. Okay, example, isang balong malalim punong-puno ng matalim. The answer is bibig. Another one, naligaw ang kapitan, hindi nabasa ang tiyan. The answer is bangka. So number 6, folk songs. It expresses the hopes and aspirations, the people's lifestyle as well as their loves. Example, lullabies and harana. Okay, example of a folk song is Dandansoy, an Ilonggo folk song that is sung by even non-Ilonggos. It can be sung by the Ilonggo or non-Ilonggos. It is about the singer saying goodbye to Dandansoy as he chases after a girl. Then, the children's songs such as Bahay Kubo, Leron-Leron Sinta, at Paru-Parong Bukid. Number 7 is chants or bulong, are used in witchcraft and enchantments. Our ancestors believed in unseen spirits like dwarfs. They ask permission or apology for the spirits in order to deliver them from danger. Example of a chant or bulong is tabi-tabi po or makikiraan po lamang. Number 8 is ambahan. It's a rhythmic poetic expression with a meter of 7-syllable lines and having rhythmic and syllables. Its purpose is to express in an allegorical way, liberally using poetic language, certain situations or certain characteristics referred to by the one reciting the poem. So we will go on to the system of writing, which is baybayin. Baybayin was a pre-colonial writing system in the Philippines. So many are still confused about alibata and baybayin. Alibata is wrong and baybayin is the right term. So here is the example of baybayin. So even baybayin has consonants. So I will teach you some rules about baybayin. Here we go. For example, this symbol pronounced as ba. But if you put a dot or kutit at the upper part of the symbol, this will be pronounced as P or be. And if you put a kutlit or a dot at the lower part of the symbol, this will be pronounced as bo or bu. And if you put a cross at the lower part of the symbol, this will become a consonant letter. And here are the vowels of baybayin. So the first symbol pronounced as a. The second one is I, E. And the third one is O or U. So try to read this. Okay, that means bukod tangi. And last but not the least, the religion and beliefs during pre-colonial period. Animism was the first religion of the Filipinos during pre-colonial era. They believed with the idea that the world is inhabited by spirits and supernatural entities, both good and bad. So the old Filipinos believe in Anitos and deities. They believe that Anitos are the gods and goddesses whom give them about life. And during pre-colonial era, there are no doctors. They only have folk healers, babaylan. So babaylan are the shamans or spiritual leaders, while mananambat is what they called to the medicine men. Any questions, class? Okay, it seems that you don't have questions, so I assume that you really understand our lesson for today.